Hello and welcome. It's me, Persita, and this is Persita's Paradox. Thank you so much for joining me today. I greatly appreciate you, your time, and effort in finding me. If you are new, thank you so much for giving me your time and effort today. And as always, OGs, you know the drill. Thank you so much for always continuing to support me. So let's talk. It is like a little crazy. It is week 2 of the new year. I feel like people are absolutely insane. I feel like a lot of us are bringing a lot of baggage from, I wouldn't even say, my God, 2021. I would say we are finding baggage that we have literally stored away for probably 20, 30 years right now. I'm not quite sure what is going on with the temperament of the world. I don't know if we're understanding what our desires and wants and needs are. I feel like everything is all over the place. And in the midst of all that, I'm trying to stay my course. And I know that might sound crazy, but that's really all I think you can do right now. And I couldn't wait to come on today just to kind of get a feel for what is going on with you. Like, that is the question today. What is actually going on with you? Are you feeling what I'm feeling? Am I alone in it? I mean, like, it's just, I don't know. It's like, it's just a vibe and an energy where I feel like people are fighting to try to be different. And like, COVID has caused people to really take this you only live once aspect of life to a whole nother level outside of the FOMO scenario and all the other acronyms and cliches that we've used throughout the years. It's like something transpired in the last year and a half, right? That has really just turned the trajectory of most people's mindsets. I mean, and just ideas of what it is that they feel like they can and should do. And at the exact same time, it just puts them in a position where it just feels like everyone is just like urgent, right? In trying to change. And the funny part to me about that is that it's just really complicated to figure out what your change should be if you're not really clear on where you are. Right? So that's the question. Like, where really are you and what are you trying to change? And is it actually something that's possible? And I hate to say it that way because I know so many people are like, oh my God, Priscilla, you know, you're queen of positive and you always want to really talk about, you know, moving and being progressive and never really allowing things to let you, you know, wallow in your drama or your issues. And my God, all of that is so true. But I'm trying to really express to everyone, regardless of all of those things that I'm saying, you have to have a plan. And the problem with this plan is that we so busily, even in what we consider manifestation, even in what we consider praying our way through, we are so busy and really only looking at what we can see. And we're not really comprehending that if we're really walking in a sense of faith, or if we're really trying to manifest things, then you can't really look at what you see. Because to look at things about what they are to you or what they appear to be to you in the naked eye completely disrupts the idea of manifestation or faith. So it's like a weirdness of like, of course you have to walk in the reality, right? But then there's a weird balance between walking in the reality and being in an understanding place of what manifestation and faith and hope and things like that can be. And when I say this urgent thing, it's almost as if, of course I get the idea. Let me say this first. Of course I get the idea of you do want to make sure that you're living your life to the fullest. Yes. Am I a proponent of that? Yes. For 99.9% of the time. But I'm also aware of where I am and what I'm doing in order to actually execute that. So I'm hoping, right? I'm not even going to say I'm trying. I'm hoping that the idea of this urgency to change, right? This changing agent that we're really focused on is really something that's realistic in the ideas of that you're not really going from just, okay, I'm just going to try no matter what, anything that's just been in my frontal lobe to I've already done 75 to 80% of the work on something that I was working on, and I should probably finish that. Did that make sense? So it's almost an idea of change and be all of those things and make sure that you're keeping everything as positive and as perspective driven as possible. But have a plan in regards to what's really happening and what's not happening without focusing on all you see, without focusing on just what's in your face. And in saying that, it actually can get a little confusing in my own head as I'm trying to get the words out, because we have to have that balance. We have to actually be in a position of still moving and working towards what we want to change, but in the exact same time being realistic in what it is that we have. Meaning, if you already know that your credit, let's just say it like this, I'll use something tangible. If you know your credit is piss poor right now, that's just where it is. No big deal. Life happens. It is what it is. Would this be the time that you're going to say that you're going to buy a house in the next 2 months? Could you do it? Possibly. Absolutely. I mean, anything is possible. But would it be more realistic to even try to say it maybe within the year? And I say it that way because I don't want to experience any more conversations with individuals who in 2 weeks have already stressed themselves out about resolutions that they've already attempted to execute and they've already tried to tell themselves that are possible when they've done no prep work in regards to it. It would equate to making a good soup, right? Typically when you're making a soup, most people who make a good soup, they do a lot of prep work before. Even a good dish is a lot of prep work before, because you want to make sure that you actually have what you need in said, entree or soup. If there is no prep work, then there really is no plan, right? And if there is no plan, then you kind of are throwing up in the air on what said entree or soup would taste like. I'm trying to say that to say it nicely to individuals of change is fantastic, but you really want to have a plan to do it. And if you have a plan to do it, then you really want to stay the course of the plan to do it so that it can manifest and you are walking in your faith about it. Nothing comes to you without any effort. I said it a few videos back. Easy is very expensive. It's very expensive. It doesn't seem as if it would be expensive, but it is very expensive. So being in a position of understanding, you are always wanting to... Let me stop and say, I won't say you are always wanting to change, but you want to change as quickly as possible when you see that it's necessary to change to reach your goal, aspirations, or whatever, right? But in the exact same breath, you have to be conscious of how to plan that out, and you have to be conscious of what it'll actually take to do it in order for the change to manifest. Otherwise, whatever you did with your resolution, let's just say in 2021, will still manifest in 2022 the exact same way it manifested in 2021 if you don't change the plan of action that you did in your past. This is where using your past is effective because you can actually see what worked and what didn't work. You can actually gauge how much effort you put into something against how many times you put no effort in, but you were still looking for a result. So when I ask you, what are you doing? What are you trying to change? Like, that's really what I'm asking. Are you really paying attention to who you are and taking complete note on what you bring to the table right now today? And you're looking at that, not with saying that that's your all, but understanding how to then float towards your manifestations or your prayers? Or are you just simply talking out the side of your neck and just hoping that things change just because your talk is different or your approach to it verbally or the way that you say that prayer is different? I'm hoping today that you step up and you make some change happen and you put yourself in a place where you're actually doing things differently. So as always, you know what I'm going to do. I'm going to ask you to do 3 things in the process of making all of this work. Those 3 things are live your life authentic. So you really want to be clear in just change to the better, but just really make sure that you're being authentic in yourself and you're being honest in yourself in regards to what it is you're trying to do. And you're not making excuses and you're not missing the moments and the opportunities to grow because you're being bullheaded, and you're not doing any of those things in regards to stopping the progress of your change. So again, you want to do those 3 things, and you really want to focus hard on those 3 things. And those 3 things will always remain true. Live life authentic. Live life authentic. As always, thank you so much for joining me. If you've made it this far, please be so kind as to comment in the comment section, subscribe, like, share, all those other good things on the channel. I greatly appreciate you all. As always, thank you so much for joining me, and have a wonderful week. I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.